Hello, hello. Welcome back to yet another episode of Teens Biz Talk. We are so excited that you are here with us today. We are super excited about the guests that we have. Just looking forward to what she's going to be able to share to help our teen entrepreneurs be better, not just in business, but in terms of who they are. Right. And we all know that once you can find a way to be better with who you are as an individual, then that will spill over into so many other areas of life. So, super excited to have her with us today. Before we get started with her, though, just want to share with you today's episode is being sponsored by Bateman Empowering Educators. At Bateman Empowering Educators, we take away the trial and error method of your teenager learning about money and replace it with a practical blueprint to equip them to create a five-star financial future. So make sure you check down below, click on the link to see what other resources we have available for you there. All right, now we are about to get into it. So sit down, buckle up, make sure you have your pen and paper ready to take notes because you are not going to want to miss anything that our guest is about to bring us. We have the pleasure of talking with Ms. Stacy Montgomery today. How are you today, Ms. Montgomery?
I am good. I am good. I'm out looking at snow, and that's making me a little bit less than excited. But other than that, I'm good.
Okay. Ooh, the snow. All right. So let me just share a little bit about Ms. Montgomery for those of you who are not familiar with her. She says, through my series of guided journals and social emotional learning curriculum, I provide educators in elementary schools as well as parents with tools to help their young learners feel more empowered. My passion for empowering children started as a young adult when I became frustrated with the lack of positive, diverse images in the marketplace. I was reminded of moments during my childhood of feeling out of place and unaccepted. I felt different from the world around me. This led me to create a line of stationery and gifts that featured my original illustrations of diverse children. My goal was for children to see themselves in my illustrations and feel good about themselves. Years later, as a mom to an amazing son, I was frustrated with his experience at school. He had difficulty fitting in. The strategies of the schools, though well-intentioned, resulted in my son feeling unempowered and even more like an outsider. These combined experiences led me to develop an SEL program that emphasizes self. Wow, wow, wow. Man, so it seems like this work is, I feel the passion in it already. Just, just from what you shared, that you were speaking from experience, you were speaking from a type of internal drive and motivation
Exactly.
to help others. That is awesome. That is awesome. So before we dive in, because it's a lot here, one thing we mentioned here is the social emotional learning. Could you just share with us a little bit like what that is? What does that mean?
Mhm. Okay, with social learning, I know that many of us have been hearing that term a lot lately, especially since COVID and the schools were locked down for a while, remote learning. Um, uh, Many schools use remote learning for a while, and so there has been an emphasis on social emotional learning. What it really boils down to, there's a really long definition of it, but what it really boils down to is supporting the emotional wellness of students. And it touches on topics related to self-awareness. So really understanding yourself, your emotions, how you react to things, social awareness, being aware of what's going on around you, and how that impacts and how your actions impact others, relationship skills, goal setting. It just is a lot of skills related to, some call it soft skills, but skills related to how you react to external forces, people around you, and managing how you react to others. So yeah, I know that's kind of like a very general definition, but it comes down to your emotional wellness and how you see yourself fitting it into the world.
Okay, thank you for that. And all those things are very important, right? Because if we don't have that type of self-awareness, if we are not emotionally well, it makes it that much more difficult to operate in the world. I would
It
imagine,
does. It does.
in family relationships and friend relationships, like we said, for our teen entrepreneurs, right, in business and school. So, wow, 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 wow. So, something in particular that you spoke about there that I like, if we can delve into it a little bit more, you talked about goals. And so, can you just
Yes.
share with us a little bit how, what you do in your work helps
Okay.
us with goals?
Sure. So a part of SEL, social emotional learning, is goal setting. Is feeling confident, feeling empowered to set goals and achieve them. And so my work with schools and what my curriculum focus focuses on is empowering kids, young people, to believe in themselves and to help them find the tools in order to set goals, to take steps to achieve them. And so, what I want to share with you today is tips on achieving goals. Now, setting goals, having dreams, and setting goals is one thing. And for many of us, for many teens, that is not that difficult. I mean, we may want to, get a job or to have our own business, to get a certain grade in school, to try out for a team. We have our dreams, our goals, things that we want to achieve. But sometimes we get stuck in figuring out how to go about getting to those goals.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm going to talk about today. So even if you set out the steps you need to take, so I'm sure Tara has talked a lot about things that you have to do in order to start a business. There are some, very specific steps, from perhaps a business plan, from figuring out how to get customers, marketing, and all of those business related things. You absolutely have to, be able to do those things. But even if we have all of those things laid out for us, we know those steps we have to take. And sometimes it's something within us that prevents us from really taking those steps and getting to where we want to go.
Yes.
And some will refer to it as mindset. But those things, there are things that we have to have in order to reach our goals. So I want to talk. I have five tips for helping teens reach your goals.
Okay.
One, figure out who your supporters are. Who your supporters are. You have to have supporters. Although there are many things that we can just go ahead and do ourselves. Things are so much easier, and we're more likely to move forward if we have people in our corner who support us. And that might be a parent, that might be a teacher, that may be someone like Tara, that might be a coach. It may be a friend, extended family members, but really sit down and make a list of those people who are in your corner. They may be the people who are always, cheering you on from the sidelines. They may be, standing beside you as you're trying to sell your product or service. They may be pitching in and helping out, but they may just simply be the people who tell you, know what, you got this. And this is why I know you can do this.
Yeah.
So figure out who your supporters are. That's number one.
Okay.
Two, figure out how to deal with your detractors, because everyone will support you, and that is okay. There may be people who not only don't support you, but they may actually say that, you know what, this is not going to work, or you're not going to be able to do this. They may tease you, and that is just the reality of life. Not everybody is going to support you, and there may be some people who vocally try to bring you down. You have to understand that does not mean that you can't do whatever it is you want to do. That is not about you, of them. And you need to put it aside. You don't need to address it. You don't need to listen to it. It's like, whatever, and just move forward. Okay. So that is definitely about mindset and having the confidence, understanding what you are capable of. So that was number two. Number three is make peace with the fact that you might fail, and are uncomfortable with that word. What do you mean I'm going to fail? I'm not going to fail. The reality is not every idea works out, or it may not work out when you want it to work out, or it may not look exactly the way that you expect it to look. So let's say that you have decided that you want to get your business started and make your first sale by June. That may not happen, and it may not be have anything to do with you. There may be external forces. There just may be things which cause a delay, and that's okay. So make peace with that. And it turns out sometimes we have great ideas, but as we delve into it, it may turn out that this idea isn't as great as I thought it was, or it may not be feasible. There may financial issues that may make it not workable at the moment. That's okay. Make peace with that, and figure out how to move forward. So make peace with the possibility of failure, because failure does not mean you are a failure. It means that this goal that you were trying to reach, it may not be the time for it. It may not be the season for it. Move forward. So number three is recognize that you are special. And what I mean by that is you already have, there's already something about you. You already have some of the tools that you will need in order to reach your goal. So for example, you may be a hard worker. You may be creative. You may be great in math. You may be positive. Just look at yourself, look in the mirror. Or if you take a piece of paper and write down all the positive things about you and your skills, your abilities, your achievements. At this age, whether you're 12, 13, 14, 15, you've already done things.
Yeah.
Okay. So think about those things. And that shows that you're special, and you have qualities that are going to propel you forward toward whatever goal you want to reach. So you're not starting from a blank slate. You have what it takes. Of course, depending on your project, the business you want to start, the goals that you want to achieve, there may be more learning that you have to do. And not there will be more learning that you have to do. And that's fine. Work hard and do that, but know that you already have what it takes to reach your goal. So the fifth thing I want to point out is self-care. And I believe, Tara, the guest you had on, your last guest, talked something about health and wellness.
Yes, she did.
So take care of yourself. You know, the journey toward working toward a goal can be stressful. So you may have to stretch out of your comfort zone and be brave. You will run into some stumbling blocks, and some roadblocks. The process may be very, very stressful. And even if you are immediately spectacularly successful, that in and of itself can be stressful. So take care of yourself. I mean, simple things like, eating right, getting rest, um, um, exercising, and knowing when to take a break. Entrepreneurs, no matter what age, often are just completely driven. They work, 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 work. Being an entrepreneur, as an adult, you know, like having a 9 to 5. Isn't like working a shift. You are constantly working, and even if you're not actively doing something, your brain is constantly going. So, understand that, when you need to step back and stop and just go do something that has nothing to do with your business, taking a walk, doing some sort of, physical activity. If you have a pet, hugging your dog or petting your cat. If you like to do things like, baking or cooking or crafting, something that doesn't have to do with your business, just do that. Going outside, enjoying the weather, even if it's snow, even if it's cold, just, enjoying the fresh air, listening to music, dancing, just hanging out with friends. Do not stop those activities because you have school, then you have your business, you have other activities. Um, Take care of yourself during the process. Make sure your schedule is reasonable. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. Remember that even whatever your timeline you set for yourself, if you don't reach it, then, that's fine. But don't sacrifice your physical and mental well-being for the other things that are going on in your life. So remember, write your goals down, set your goals. Whatever you need to do to get your business going, to work your business, to take it to the next level. Do all of that. But in order to make it happen, think about the things that I just told you. Find your supporters and lean on them. Ignore detractors. Remember that you are special. You have what it takes. Make peace with the possibility of failure. Learn from your failures and move on. And self-care, take care of yourself.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. I don't know about you, teen entrepreneurs who are listening in, but I have quite a bit to sit with after all that Ms. Montgomery just shared with us. Wow, wow, wow. Thank you so much. That was just so great. So much in there. So many practical tips.
Exactly.
And that's important, right? For us to be able to move outside of just the theory. But you gave us some very, very practical things that we can do to move forward. Thank you. And just one other thing, you mentioned at the end about being brave, and it would seem that we definitely need to have a level of bravery to even attempt, right? These things that you just shared with us. Can you just talk a little bit more about that, about being brave, and maybe what does that look like, and just how can we best operate in that space?
So being brave, being an entrepreneur, and actually moving through life in general to achieve your goals, whether they're entrepreneur related or otherwise, generally involves stepping outside of your comfort zone and doing things that you are nervous about doing. So as an entrepreneur, for example, I do a lot of networking, and I have to introduce myself. I'm not sure if you guys have talked about this at all, but given a 30-second introduction. If you go to a networking meeting, oftentimes you have to stand up in front of everybody and give a 30-second intro about yourself. And there will be other opportunities in which you have to speak before a group. And for me, that was like, oh my gosh, that's something that terrified me years ago. That absolutely terrified me. And it still made me nervous. But because I wanted to grow my business and I had goals, I knew I had to do that. So for me, that was what bravery looked like. And so throughout your entrepreneurial journey, you're going to have to do that. You're going to have to talk to people, connect with people, and maybe talk to somebody about collaborating. So doing things that are a little bit hard, research and learning. At school involves, being brave. Sometimes, again, I keep going back to the whole public speaking thing, presenting in front of your peers. You may want to be in a play, so auditioning for a play, that could be really nerve-wracking. So that's what I mean about being brave. When you understand that you have something to offer the world, and we all do, then you will want to share it. And that's what being brave is all about. Just being confident in who you are and doing what you need to do to get to where you need to get.
Yes. Wow. Man, oh man. Thank you so much, Ms. Montgomery. If anyone is like me, they have a page full of notes that they've been writing down along the way so that we don't forget. And by all means, you may have to go back through and listen to this episode again just to make sure you are getting all that was shared today. Thank you so much, Ms. Montgomery, for your time, for sharing your wisdom, your experience with us here today, to help the community be better, not just as entrepreneurs, but as people, as they are developing, as they are growing, or as they are figuring out their way in life. Definitely, these things that you shared are very helpful for that.
Well, thank you for having me. Thank you. I appreciate you.
And so how can our community connect with you?
Well, I am available on Facebook and Instagram. Stacy M Design is how you would find me, Stacy M Design. And I'm also available on LinkedIn under Stacy Montgomery. And my website is stacymdesign.com.
Awesome. And so for those who aren't able to write down that fast where, no worries, everything will be in the description below. So you can just click on the links to connect with Ms. Montgomery right away. Well, again, thank you, Ms. Montgomery, and thank you all for tuning in today for another episode of Teens Biz Talk. If you are listening on any of our podcast platforms, please be sure to make sure that you're subscribed, right? Feel free to leave a comment about today's episode. And if you are watching us on our YouTube channel, Teens Biz Talk, definitely please like and subscribe, and just, drop a note below. And so Ms. Montgomery can see how she was able to impact you, today with what she shared. What did you actually take away from today that you feel as though is going to help your journey be that much better on your road to success? And before we go, as I always share at the end of our episodes, remember, everything in creation was created with a gift inside of it. That includes you. So go out and share your gift with the world. Until next time.